please welcome Pro Football Hall of Famer and author of All the Way, My Life in Four Quarters, Mr. Joe Namath, a.k.a. Broadway Joe. Good to have you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Craig.
This is a powerful, raw book. Why now? Why did you decide to do it right now?
Well, first of all, it's been 20 years or so since I did the last book, and we had, coming into this year, it was brought to my attention that the New York Jets and the New York Knicks and the New York Mets all won a championship. This was a special year. And Little Brown, the publisher, approached me and said, you know, would you be interested in doing a book at this 50th anniversary type or this year? And I said, well, man, I don't know. And then after thinking it over, and it had been so long since I figured I've been through some things that I could share. And so I decided to go for it.
And Craig mentioned it is a raw book. Was it cathartic at all to just put all the words on paper and to just get it all out there? Or
not really. I've always, I say always, owned up to what I've done, whether it be in college or in high school. If I've made a mistake or so, it starts at home for all of us, I think. And man, whenever you mess up, you recognize it.
Let's dig in a little bit. There was one part where you write the clubs and locker rooms weren't all that different to us Jets, at least when it came to what we mostly talked about in either place, the ladies. You say you'd be out sometimes until 3 o'clock in the morning, both enjoying booze and women. How were you able to do it back then? You were juggling football, you know, the New York nightlife. How were you doing it?
Well, listen, my first responsibility was football, and our coach didn't want us at practice till noon. What time do you have to go to sleep to get 8 hours? I mean, it was a 20-minute drive from Manhattan to Shea. I could sleep until 10:30, 11 o'clock and get there 8 hours, yeah.
Well, go back to, you know, and for those of the crew in here who lived through and watched you, I mean, you were really one of those first guys who, you know, you were wearing the fur coats, you were rocking the Fu Manchu. What was it like being Broadway Joe Namath at your heyday?
Joyful. I mean, it was great. People saying hello, visiting, nice, unless you threw 5 interceptions in the game and you lost, and then you get the other side of it. New Yorkers have a way of saying it the way it is, you know, and if you played like a bum, they'd let you know. And one of the highlights of my athletic career was being able to have football practices over at Rikers Island. That's a prison, folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and we were sharing Shea Stadium with the Mets at the time, and during baseball season, we couldn't practice there. We'd go to Rikers Island.
Wow.
Those cats would let you know how you played.
Joe, as you probably know, a lot of attention has been paid over the past few years, especially to safety in the NFL and concerns over concussions and just the health of players when they leave the sport. What would you say to mothers and fathers who are rightfully concerned about allowing their sons to play football, and daughters in some cases?
Well, to mothers and fathers, I would allow the child to participate in all the sports, maybe not contact football at an early age, maybe, and contact includes hockey. There are other sports where people are getting hurt, and there are more traumatic brain injuries off the sports fields than there are on the sports field. Automobile accidents, people falling off bicycles. What we need to do is find out how to make those better, improve the traumatic brain injuries, regenerate the cells in the brain. It can be done. It's being done. We just need to monitor much better. Used to be you get your bell rung. They give you smelling salts. You get up, you walk around, you go back in. As you see the game today, they take them off the field. They take them in the locker room. They examine them. We've done a good job of improving the safety measures.
And before you leave us this morning, you say you found strength in shame in 2003. We showed that moment with ESPN's Susie Colbert. You interviewed her on the sidelines. Talk about your relationship. Do you still, you know, what the result of that was? Have you talked to her since? And what a pivotal moment it was for you to recognize how you had to change.
Well, you know what? This was a pivotal moment. I've never seen that before. This was the first time I have ever watched that.
You've never seen that clip?
I never looked at it. I didn't have the guts to look at it. I know I've messed up. I knew I messed up. I was told how I messed up. I didn't have to see it. I talked to Susie the next morning. She understood. She gave me a freedom of freedom. She gave me a feeling of, oh, Joe, you know, forgiveness, move on. We learned something from it. But I was ashamed. Certainly, I represented my family, everyone that was close to me. Yeah. And I knew I needed to make a change.
One thing is for sure, when you tell your story, do you find that it's healing for so many people watching? Just being authentic. You're so open about everything that has happened, and it's so helpful to people.
You know what? I'm a Gemini. I keep a lot of stuff to myself, too. But I tell you what, in a team game, and life is a team effort.
Yeah.
I believe in communication. I believe in respect to start with, and honesty, and hey, man, get it out there.
Joe Namath, thank you.
Thank
you
you.
so much for being here.
Well,
Thank
so
you.
Boy,
good.
good
Yes.
going.
You're getting
Yes.
applause out there. Yeah.
More information about all the way Joe's book you can check out today.com/shop. Broadway Joe. Still got it. We'll be right back.